So welcome everyone to this session of the ongoing Impact Summer Journey. Today we have a great session from Silicon Valley, from Singularity University, where we are located. And we have some fantastic lineup there with people from US, we have people from Singapore and from other places. I hope you can come in the end of the session here to ask some questions. And what is Impact Journey? Yeah, we want to really showcase the projects, the ideas, the people out there who are making a difference in the world and really want to build a greater business or a greater society. And this time it's the time for Silicon Valley, and we have nice sessions coming up. So I hand the word over to Fyodor Ovchinnikov, the Institute of Evolutionary Leadership, who will be a bit of facilitator over there in the room with these great people. So welcome Fyodor and you all, and I give the word to you.
Thank you, Bert-Ola. Welcome everyone. Greetings from Singularity University in the Silicon Valley. And my name is Fyodor Ovchinnikov. I am co-founder of the Institute for Evolutionary Leadership, and we help leaders redesign the world for the better. With the second year, we're collaborating with the Nordics, and it's our honor to be here today with some old and new friends. Jack Sim from World Toilet Organization and BOP Hub, and James Early from Region Villages, and Tatiana Fedorova from Goodler, and Carl Mehta, founder of AdCast. So 4 wonderful founders here. And could you just briefly introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Jack Sim from the World Toilet Organization and the BOP Hub. We make sure people have toilets all over the world, because right now there's still 1/3 of people don't have toilets. And for BOP Hub, the idea is to make mass cross-sector collaboration, so everybody is able to offer what they know to each other, so we can cut the learning curve and create economy of scale working together.
Thank you, Jack. And now James Early.
Hi, James Ehrlich here, founder of Region Villages. We're building the Tesla of eco-villages to redefine residential real estate development around the world. And it's born from research at Stanford University and looking to be around the world, creating a new kind of community development around regenerative platforms.
Thank you, James. And Tatiana Fedorova.
Hello, my name is Tatiana Fedorova. I'm a founder of Goodler. It's a software enterprise to collect and manage, for charitable organizations to collect and manage goods donations, and we redesign of humanitarian aid system.
Great, thank you, Tatiana. And Carl Mehta.
Hello, everyone. My name is Carl Mehta. I'm founder of AdCast, a company founded here at Stanford University. We are building a massive knowledge network to help everyone on the planet, everybody in the world, to learn daily and become lifelong learners, as well as for all of us to share our knowledge and become a subject matter expert to provide learning to other people around the world.
Thank you, Carl. So, all right. So I suggested we start with talking a little bit about exponential mindset in the context of what we do. And I would like to invite Jack to introduce the concept a little bit and also tell us about how it affects what he does with his startups.
So exponential mindset is very necessary today, because the technology are disrupting things so quickly. Like we know that Kodak has gone bankrupt because they did not prepare themselves for the new digitized world, and new companies like Airbnb, Amazon, and Uber, and all these people are disrupting existing industry from outside. And the process is that you digitize things and you dematerialize them. And even food today is being printed in cellular agriculture. That means you don't really need the farm. You can print a piece of meat in a lab, and if you can reduce the cost, then the things can suddenly be available. So the concept of exponential mindset is that you think of the not a straight line growth. So in the linear incremental growth mindset, which is very traditional, you want to grow by 10, 20, 30% per year. But in the exponential mindset, you are thinking of 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times or more. So if you are thinking in those growth pattern, you are thinking of building technologies and things that don't exist before. In the traditional thinking is they will ask, are you sure? Is this proven? I don't want to take a risk. This is not, nobody has done it before. That means it must be not a good idea. That is why they didn't do. But now in the exponential mindset, we are saying it's not invented, but it's needed. And when it is invented, it will be exponentially growing because everybody will love it. We will solve a problem using current redundancy, disintermediate all the middlemen who were actually not necessary, and processes. And then as you start to think this way, what happens is you are growing in a quite silent mode at first by learning and accumulating a lot of support. And during this period of growth, there's a lot of doubt by traditional people. They will say, look, this guy has not been making money, although he has got a lot of followers, but that's not really profitable yet. Just like Amazon in the early days when they were collecting a lot of customers buying their books, but they haven't made money yet. But once they start to grow, they sell books, they sell cars, they sell jewelry, they sell anything. So in this case, those exponential growth were not seen at the time before the actual profit starts. And this is building the potential. For example, World Toilet Organization, when we first started in 2001, there is no employees and no money. But from the first day when we declare ourselves open on 19th of November, it became a world body. And the global media report it as the status of a world body. And it grows leaps and bounds very, very quickly until 13 years later, we have the United Nations General Assembly unanimously adopting the founding day, 19 November, as the UN World Toilet Day. And all the politicians in the world are using the toilet as a vote winner. So how do you plan that growth? Is that there is a very huge problem. 2.5 billion people don't have toilets. And you solve it by changing it from a taboo to a normal, popular, and sexy topic. So this kind of example happens in many other places as well, and my colleague will tell you more.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jack. Amazing. So this growth of this exponential mindset is really something that we all should explore because the technology is developing with accelerating speed, and really have to be able to leverage this. And also the global connectedness that the technology brings. There are just a few interesting things to consider also according to our experience. So first of all, if you look at Silicon Valley, you find many examples of companies that embraced exponential growth and succeeded. But now it also backfires. So I always bring, over the last few months, I always bring this case of Power Technologies in the United Kingdom, $2.7 billion unicorn that filed for bankruptcy in February this year. And for the CEO, it was a complete surprise. So as he told Business Insider, it's just one of those random things that should never have happened. But apparently, his investors and his employees all agreed that among factors that led to the decline were things like focus on sales at the expense of product development, surrounding CEO with yes people, and no long-term strategy, no strategy beyond 5 years. All right, so you go to Startup Grind, you listen to Steve Blank, and and Guy Kawasaki, and what you hear is sales fixes everything. Investors want you to make money within 5 years, and only you as founder know where to go. And if somebody tells you that that you don't know what to do, don't bother, right? So exactly the same mindset that helps you build a unicorn kills the unicorn right now, because the world is becoming more and more complex. And in complexity, if you don't know how to deal with complexity, you never know what hits you, just like that guy, right? Working with complexity and also realizing systemic change, because when you deal with complexity, no experts can bring you the answers. It's only the system in the form of its stakeholders that can give you the answer. So you have to think a little bit beyond traditional business stakeholders, like your customers, your investors, your employees, et cetera, et cetera. And apparently, you have to think about people and the planet, even if you're not a social entrepreneur. Even if you're just building a regular venture, you do have to think about implications on larger systems and collaborate with those stakeholders. This is one. Second, if you're a social entrepreneur, basically focusing on specific products and services doesn't get you far, right? Because you are not considering systemic implications of that. Our partners at University of Melbourne Business School Asia Pacific Social Impact Center just made groundbreaking research showing that it is not the business model or product and service that makes difference for social entrepreneurs. It's the links between products and services and business models. So, and there is a successful case in Borneo of 2 people founding 4 startups, simultaneously improving a situation with illegal logging, healthcare, and poverty. And this was the only way to go. So systems thinking and thinking beyond certain market or industry or niche, and connecting that in complex projects is something that also needs to be embedded in applying exponential mindset in practice. And finally, when we think about visions, so exponential growth, this could be growth towards enormous global visions, and it's terrific. But let me tell you just a quick story before I pass it to my colleagues. A friend of mine works with social entrepreneurs in India, and they asked kids at school, what would you do if you have all the resources in the world and you have no barriers? So most of the kids said they want to be policeman or teacher. That's it. Because they hadn't seen anything else that was better than a policeman or teacher. So if we think we're better while we're constructing our visions, we're wrong. We're just different, right? So, and it's so we need to try to design from the highest possibility rather than be slaves of the past. Otherwise, we're not getting anywhere, even with this exponential mindset and leveraging that technology. So with this, I would like to pass it to my colleague and friend, James Ehrlich, with Regen Villages, so he can introduce Regen Villages and how exponential mindset influences his work.
Oh, thanks, Fyodor. So yeah, Regen Villages, as I said, is the Tesla of eco-villages. We are building off-grid neighborhoods. So these are neighborhoods that can power, feed, hydrate, and mitigate waste in the footprint of the neighborhood scale. And the significance of this, of course, is that cities are overcrowded. You don't have to look anywhere around the world. You'll just see that wherever you go, pretty much cities are teeming with too many people. And so Regen Villages is looking actually towards the peri-urban and the rural areas. This is part to research that's been done by the UN and by NASA, also at Stanford. And the truth is that we can unfold these communities, about 100 families at a time, that are self-reliant. And in the aggregate, that exponential mindset really reduces burdens on municipal governments. And then it reduces burdens on national governments, which in turn makes it easier for other kinds of solutions to take place. For instance, if we can start to attract the populations from the large cities like Mumbai, Sao Paulo, even New York, and to go a little bit further out from the city areas and start to look at these open places. This is really the future of humanity. And with broadband internet, with electric vehicles, with drones, and with high-speed access, like Hyperloop 1, for instance, we can get further and further away from big cities, where the need to be in a city actually is diminished. Because if you have curriculum, if you have content, if you have maker labs and innovation, you can actually build new economies from those small communities. So we're the Tesla of eco-villages, because what we do is, at all the levels of these eco-villages that we build are sensors. And we create data sets, and villages that are in similar geographic regions can learn from each other. And autonomously, the thriving mechanisms can be improved. And so we look at technology and robots and artificial intelligence as a way to help humanity thrive. There are 2 to 3 billion more people coming to planet Earth in the next 30 years. And we just can no longer build these subdivisions that are car culture, waste producing, energy sucking homes. We have to rethink this. So we start actually in North Europe. We start in the Netherlands. We're breaking ground later this summer on the first 100 home community in Almere, which is about 25 minutes from Amsterdam. And then from there, we're going to Sweden, in Lund, in Norway, in Denmark, Germany, and also in Belgium. So a North European context that's cold weather climate, but at the same time, we're also in conversations with MENA, so Middle East, North Africa. So we have the two most extreme areas to develop regen villages first. And then from there, we can do the temperate climates, we think, much easier. So the concept is that we can unfold literally thousands of these self-sustaining communities around the world. And this is an exponential mindset. This is the way we can go forward to a better way of living within our own footprint. So everybody has agency with their high-yield organic food, clean water, clean energy, and that waste actually is converted into resources. So Regen Villages is all about that, and we are really being born in the Nordics.
Thank you, James. Amazing. And now Tatiana Fedorova, founder of Goodler.
Yeah, actually, we work with in humanitarian aid system field, and as you know, the world today spends around $25 billion to provide life-saving assistance to 125 million people, and which like live or like suffer from wars and different humanitarian actions. And while it's now it's 12 times greater than it was 15 years ago, but still it's not enough. It's not enough, not because lack of money, of sources, but because of problems in infrastructure, how it works. All the way definitely doesn't work right now, and we need to rebuild everything. Like it's why we started Goodler. The Goodler, it's a platform software enterprise which helps charitable organization on the ground, local NGOs, to collect and manage goods donations. All the way, usually goods go from abroad to the country, and during humanitarian crisis, it's ruined the local economy at all. In our case, what we build infrastructure of local retailers on the ground who already have goods which needed for people, and local NGO who already do something on the ground. They understand needs, they understand how to help, how to provide this help, and they use these local goods. So in our case, like international NGOs, international donors, sponsor can just purchase these items, just pay for them. It's avoid a lot of things. We minimize corruption, we minimize, like, eliminate middleman, shipping cost, custom cost. And in our case, all goods goes directly to charity, avoiding all these things which I mentioned right now. So in our goals to, and actually another thing, good thing, big organization, they don't have enough information about what's going on the ground. So much money wasted because of that, because they don't have this information. We build the data of needs, what exactly needed in devastated areas, and we provide this data to big international organization, and when they go to the country, they already know who to work with, what to bring on the table, how to help, and actually it makes humanitarian aid very much more sufficient than exists right now. So, and how it works, actually, it's a regular wish list, as you like reading the registry, for example. Any charity can just make this wish list and put all goods together, these goods from local retailer, and then donors around the world, organization or individuals can just purchase these items, and these items will be delivered directly to the charity in an efficient way. So yeah, that's it actually. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you, Tatiana. It's great. And Carl Mehta from EdCast.
Hey, thank you, everyone, and fantastic introduction from all of you. So my focus is the problem of ignorance and the problem of skills worldwide. And if you look at the Sustainable Development Goals that were agreed by 193 countries last September at the United Nations, and if you see all those 17 problems that they are trying to solve over the next 15 years, whether it is poverty in the developing worlds or whether it is reversing the climate change, all of those problems are human beings and man-created problems. We are the ones who created the problems, and we have to solve it. And the underlying root cause of all those 17 problems, sure, there are lots of great plans and actual steps that the 193 countries have committed to take, but the underlying root cause of all the 17 problems is actually ignorance. If people don't have the knowledge of what they are doing and why are they doing and how they should be doing things the right way, like Fyodor, you mentioned about system thinking and beyond just your traditional stakeholders, we need a world where everyone is skilled and reskilled in understanding how to build a better world. And if we look at the developed economies, they are suffering economic growth because we have skills gap problem. You go into the developing world, there is a massive skills gap problem. And if we can educate someone, we can build the right future for that person and for their family and for their whole country, right? Alvin Toffler, the author of Future Shock, he has said this, which is a key inspiration for my work, is that the illiterate of the 21st century are not the people who can't read or write, but are the ones who can't learn, unlearn, and relearn. So in today's world, the biggest implication and imperative for all of us and for the entire 7 billion people is that we all have to become lifelong learners. And so far, until now, there is not a tool that helps us to become that lifelong learner. And so I left my venture capital role on Sand Hill Road and started EdCast at Stanford University with the goal and the mission to build a platform that would enable everyone to become lifelong learner. And the problem with learning is that the traditional way of thinking, the conventional way of thinking that we will build schools and colleges or some classrooms in a corporate environment, that doesn't scale with the size of the problem that we have. Significant portion of billions of people who are uneducated today. The cost of education, even in the developed countries, is totally unaffordable. We have $1 trillion of college loan debt in the US here. So the way to solve the problem is this exponential thinking and the exponential mindset, which is we don't think in terms of incrementally building classrooms and teachers and all of that, but we think 10x, not 10%, which is every one of us who has knowledge in any area, we all have to become instructors. Every day, we have to give our knowledge that we have, and every day people who need knowledge, they should be learning. So it's the power of crowdsourcing right, which has been proven to have an exponential effect. If you look at Kickstarters of the world, if you look at the Airbnbs of the world or the Uber, it is crowdsourcing. It is empowering people with the tools so that they can participate and they can solve a problem. So what EdCast we are doing is giving you the tools just from your mobile phone. You can push a button and you can start sharing your knowledge. Fyodor has done it already. And the whole world is your audience, and everybody in the world can learn from you. And then you can learn from anybody in the world as well. So if we can build a society where all of us are connected, the power of mobile internet and smartphone and already the social network plumbing that we already have, we need to now use that beyond just last night party pictures and some vacation pictures. And we need to use it really for the power of, sharing knowledge with each other. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Carl. And thank you, everybody. So now this is the time for announcements and invitations, because the Nordic Impact Week is coming in September. It's a very exciting time here in the San Francisco Bay Area with a Nordic delegation. Last year, we had an amazing experience hosting Nordics here, and we're very much looking forward to hosting them here again. With this, I would like to invite everybody to share any announcements they might have, specifically around Nordic Impact Week and beyond. So we'll start with Jack.
Hi, I'd like to welcome everybody to Singapore on 20th to 22nd September for the BOP World Convention. We did this 2 years ago in Singapore, and it was opened by the Deputy Prime Minister. And this event was very welcome because we did cross-sector collaboration from every sector: water, energy, sanitation, housing, finance, every sector. And people start to see that they don't have to just work in their silo, but they can cross-collaborate with everyone. So welcome to Singapore, bopworldconvention.org, and you can register there. The dates are 20 to 22nd September. This year it will be opened by our former Prime Minister, Mr. Goh Chok Tong. And I see you in Singapore.
Thank you. Great. So this is, by the way, right after Nordic Impact Week. So if you're booking your tickets, you can just get a ticket from San Francisco to Singapore right after Nordic Impact Week, right? Yeah. Terrific. So James?
Well, I'd just like to invite everybody to regenvillages.com. Those folks who are interested in becoming residents, those folks who are interested in learning more about off-grid neighborhoods and communities, that you can please come and visit us there and sign up and register at our site. We have had absolutely a viral spread to what we're doing around the world, from fantastic press coverage and really and mostly in part to the fact that we have fantastic technology partners and architectural partners such as Effect in Copenhagen. The architectural group that is our global architectural framework partner, at the center of Scandinavian thinking there in aesthetics. And I'd just like to also say that we welcome everybody here to be part of Regen Villages. It's an open invitation to join us.
Thank you, James. Tatiana?
Hello. Yeah, it's very nice to work with the Nordic Impact Week. I already partner with this week, third year. And I would like to invite all of us, all of you guys, for Round Walk for Homeless. It's going to be September 11th in San Francisco. So please join us. It's a fundraising event to help homeless, to eliminate homelessness in San Francisco Bay Area. And one more thing, I'm founder of Social Impact Youth Summit, which goal is to teach students, youth, how to impact, how to bring change, influence in the world. It's going to be next year. Follow us on Goodler, GOODDLER.org. And one more, it's Silicon Valley Open Doors Conference for entrepreneurs, investors, corporations, anybody could be interested to be in Silicon Valley, to bring your businesses in Silicon Valley. It's going to be next May 24th, 25th. Follow us on svod.org. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Tatiana. Carl?
Well, every year we do annual conference on the future of learning. So last year we did at Stanford University with HSTAR, actually collaborating with HSTAR. This year we will be doing the conference at the Computer History Museum, just a few blocks from Singularity here. And it is on October 13th and 14th. And that'll be on our website on edcast.com. And we will also be collaborating very closely with our friends in the Nordic social impact community. So there might be some events coming up with future events coming up with Bert-Ola. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl. Wonderful. So with the Institute for Evolutionary Leadership, we have a lot of things going on, but today I would like to focus on one, which is September 12th, Monday. We have Leadership for Global Impact, training and international dialogue with the Nordics. Bert-Ola will be there and Lars will be there, and hopefully many of you will be there as well. So this is a day of training and dialogue on how companies and communities and activist groups can learn from each other, leveraging this global infrastructure, new technology, communication, and knowledge, but still keeping their solutions local. Because today, local is a new scaling, right? So you cannot just simply copy a solution from one place to another. You have to really customize it, and then you have this questions about what exactly is the knowledge that can help you on the ground where you are, and what is it that is working just because people out there have different contexts than you do, right? So we have a pretty strong network of partners for this event. One of our key partners is University of Melbourne Business School, Asia Pacific Social Impact Center. So they send their researchers and are helping us with the process to structure that in a way that's not only help participants dig deeper into the root causes of successes and failures of scaling through localizing, but they also will share their research, groundbreaking research they've been doing recently on this subject. And among other partners are Search for Common Ground, is a nonprofit that has been working over the past 10 years or so on bringing together opposed sides all over the world. So they have very specific situations in many countries, armed conflicts and groups that don't like each other, and they have to design solutions from scratch wherever they work. But at the same time, they have a unique knowledge management system to really help their groups in different places around the world leverage from each other's experience. Another partner is Global Chamber. It's a network of companies expanding globally, and they have presences in 500 metropolitan areas. So they already will be talking about, they also will be talking about how they leverage connections and technology and knowledge in order to help companies bring their products and services to different areas and localize their solutions to certain places. The San Francisco chapter of Global Chamber has a huge focus on social entrepreneurship, social impact. That's why we're pretty much aligned. The Institute is a member of this organization. And this is just maybe 1/10 of what we have for you, because there will be about 40-50 participants from different organizations working on different aspects of social environmental issues, and in one way or another leveraging global infrastructure while keeping solutions locally applicable. So again, September 12th, I hope many of you will come. It's going to be amazing day of leadership, training, and dialogue. And with that, I pass it back to Bert-Ola to see if he has any questions for the panelists. Thank you.
Yes, it was fantastic to hear there, and we have several questions there. a bit of different level. So the first question is from Mohammed, and I guess it's for all of you there. If you lack financial resources, maybe don't have that many contacts, how do you start this? How do you start to become an entrepreneur or applying? Maybe it's far to take exponential mindset, but do you have some suggestions? How do you do it?
Yeah, so Jack has some suggestions.
So there is, you have to assume there is no such a thing as a good idea that is viable without money. So if you think about a solution that disrupt the current solution and solve the problem cheaper, faster, better, easier, more effective, and cut redundancy, cut bureaucracy, you are sure to be able to get money from inside. Therefore, when you design the process, you do not design it for the grant giver, and then you are thinking, oh, how do I please the grant giver? That is very short term. If you want to design a solution, you have to have a customer that will pay for it. And how do you get that done while solving the problem? And if that is possible, there is no shortage of investor coming to you and grant giver and bank loans. So think about being very successful, being very profitable, running it, and then work backwards, and you will find the people are chasing you instead of you chasing them.
Thank you, Jack. Anybody wants to add something?
Maybe Carl on education. I think that's very important, right?
Well, I think EdTech is the I'm biased, but EdTech is the future, and there's tremendous capital available today worldwide. I travel in developing countries and meet a lot of venture capitalists, obviously not in all parts of the world. And then, you know, the talent that I find worldwide, I like to say from my mentor, Mitch Kapoor, he loves to say this, that, you know, the talent is evenly distributed across zip code. So, you know, it is not very specific, that it's not that talent is only available in Silicon Valley and outside. We find fantastic, amazing, talented people worldwide. In this new world, you know, if you could be anywhere in the world and you can tap into the capital, if in your country or even here from Silicon Valley, as long as what Jack mentioned about that, you know, you have to think about your problem. That has to, you have to think about the problem, solving the problem in a way that it is cheaper, faster, better, easier, and really brings a 10x level of disruption than what the current solution is available. Then you would absolutely, there's no reason why you would not get the funding. And we are all here to help. I think there's a lot of networks available where you can be a part of, like, you know, whether the Nordic Impact Network or Fyodor's institute here. So all of us are here to help every one of you. And if you have a great solution to solve a world problem. Thank you.
Great.
I just only say that have passion, have faith, and don't give up. Very important. Just understand that every person can make a difference, and it's not always about making, let's say, billion-dollar companies. It is about making a difference where you can, how you can.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, James.
Yeah.
All right. So next question, Bert-Ola.
Yes. Another question is, many of us are born in this traditional education system or linear thinking. How do you take the step to become unlearning, relearning, to go from this very deep behaviors to the new paradigm?
Yeah, I see Carl already jumping in. And
can you leave? I heard the process of learning, unlearning, relearning, but can you rephrase the question? Is it?
Yeah, a bit like many of us are born in the linear education system. You know, everyone I think have this you sit in front of a teacher and they are giving you the lessons and tell you what to do. And how do you become a lifelong learner if you are born in another system, so to say?
Right. Well, I have believed and experienced that necessity is the mother of invention, and so if you want to change the way you are thinking, you got to have a problem that you are trying to solve. And even if you even if you're not totally successful in solving that problem, I think the first thing that trying to solve a big problem will help you do is change your paradigm, because it will hit you, at least in my case, that it's almost like feeling like hit by a brick on your head, thinking that, oh my God, I need to change myself completely first, because the scale and the magnitude of the problem is so big that the traditional thinking that I have is not going to help me to solve it. So to answer, I have gone through the whole linear thinking throughout my life, but then whenever I have been stuck with a problem which is very large scale and complex, it helps you to totally reinvent yourself and say the linear thinking is not going to apply here, right? When you look at the scale. So that's one thing, that whatever problem that you are facing in wherever you are, if you look at the scale and the complexity, it will definitely help you to start becoming that lifelong learner. I think the second thing is that it does require a certain amount of an ecosystem connection, because I think we are very fortunate here to be surrounded with some amazing, extraordinary, incredible people who are always thinking. We're sitting here in Singularity University, where everyone here thinks about 10x. So I think being part of a network like, whether it's the Nordic Impact Network or being part of the Institute of Evolutionary Leadership, so being a part of the network will help you over the time thinking. And then obviously come and join EdCast, and we'll connect you into a knowledge network where it'll help you to learn, relearn, and unlearn.
Yeah, thank you, Carl. And also, EdCast is a great way to tap into the content of the Institute for Evolutionary Leadership. Yeah. So that's it. And now Jack is going to say something.
So one of the big mistake that people do is that they try to solve a problem, but they at the same time try to be a rock star. So if you are becoming a rock star because you are good at solving the problem, then all the media coverage will make you famous, and then after a while you become intoxicated with all this paparazzi, and then you forgot that you were trying to solve a problem, but you were thinking that it is trying to make you famous, and then you are in trouble. You are totally in the shit, let's say. So one of the most important way to change this mindset is to put the mission very high above you, that you become humble. And then the mission is so big, unless you alone can solve it totally, then don't behave that way, and try to share your solution with all the other people, and try to take the solution that they have and deliver it to other people. So in this new exponential thinking, you do not say this is belong to me. When you have an idea that is not reused and recycled, you are creating an idea waste. So things like IP protection and all this are not so important, rather than to share it with everybody and to give the quality delivery. And a lot of social entrepreneurs says, oh, only I can do very high quality delivery because I invented it. But if the world is waiting only for you to solve the problem, maybe you will never be solved. So the important thing is to start an idea and let everyone copy you, and let everyone get into action and solve the problem through other people. And you don't need to take credit for everything, but you can be very happy that you start the ball rolling.
Yeah, thank you, Jack. And I would add something. There is, I think, a useful concept. So if we look at ourselves as designers of what we have outside of our social systems, of everything we have, our institutions, our culture, etc., 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 we then realize that actually we do it by nature. We can't help but designing our families, our organizations, our communities, our countries, and the world, right? And it's not any of us, like we're not doing it alone. We're doing it all together, right? But also the tricky thing is whatever we design there, designs us back, right? So, this is why there is a reinforcing feedback loop. So we basically, most of the time, unconsciously, we don't know that, but we reinforce current cultures and institutions. We may not like them, we may want to change them, but we keep reinforcing them, right? And it works on any level. It works on personal level, on family level, on organizational community level, and on the world level as well. So if there is something in your community that bothers you, yes, you may want to look at your own role in reinforcing it. So in just becoming more aware about how your actions and your interactions with others reinforce the problem that you see might be of great help. The other thing is just because of that effect, it's very beneficial to change environments, to see things that are different, be in environments that are different. You will be redesigned by that environment, and you can do it by physically moving to, let's say, Silicon Valley, or you can do it by watching these kind of webinars, and you can follow people on Facebook, or you can watch movies, but do it for a purpose, right? So don't just simply treat it as entertainment. If you reflect, if you apply it, if you compare, if you try to really make sense out of it, and see again how is it different from what's happening in your region, in your community, and what is your role? What are the mindset, the mental models that are behind a problem that you see? Then you might find better solutions for that problem. And it doesn't matter what amount of wealth or what level of institutional power you have. You do have the potential to address this problem very effectively, to come up with brilliant solutions, to collaborate. And just like Jack was saying, it's not just about somebody becoming a savior of the world. It's for the world to be saved. And it's for us together to collaborate, to open the share knowledge, and to take collective action to make it happen, right? So in your place, wherever you are, go to other places, physically or electronically, or in whatever way you can. Talk to people, reflect on your own role in the problems. Don't just blame others or like externalize that. See your role in reinforcing this, and try to take a step back and redesign your own role, and then engage stakeholders to take collective action to redesign everybody's role, which leads to systemic societal change. So that would be my input.
Okay, here is maybe a shorter question. Goran Ridish, he says that often when we speak about education, system changing education, we think about kids and system for kids, but it's also important that the families and the parents are supporting this system. Do you know about any programs where for parents, or how do you take the family and parents into consideration?
All right. Anybody wants to talk about that?
Maybe you know something about Stanford doing anything in that area?
There's a lot going on. I know in trying to rethink whole systems approach holistically to education, and because of course what you teach a child in school from a very early age, if they go home the parents aren't there to support that, that's a big issue. One of my backgrounds really is in nutrition, and it's most important that the children are being fed, and that there's an education and knowledge around food, and how if you have good nutrition, that your mind is more capable of being able to absorb knowledge. And so I would take it from that perspective. But I don't know, maybe Carl, there's some other things.
Jack. Jack has something, and I have something too for you.
Yeah. So basically, today parents are really worried that the children will not be able to get a job and have a good career, and the focus in the school is all about getting marks. So schools today are more or less marks factories. They don't produce solution, they produce marks, right? And when you are producing marks, you lose all the soft skills. So you cannot give marks to courage and compassion and all this. But it is the soft skill that will eventually makes us more competitive against the automation and the robots, because the robots don't have emotion. So the emotional quotient is very, very critical. And what I think we need are schools that teach us soft skill of curiosity, courage, compassion, commitment, communication, and the sense of community. And how do we persuade the parents that these skills is going to make their children really much better human beings and much better earners and more useful citizens? If we could use such a school to bring it into social entrepreneurship, the children can become business people, they can save the world, and they can be very proud parents. I think this kind of stories to tell the parents is very, very critical. And the child, of course, should enjoy the process, bringing out their best talent, and education has to be customized to the aptitude of the child rather than a prescriptive model.
Yeah, thank you. So I would maybe share some personal reflection, because I have a 6-year-old. It's going to school here in the Bay Area, and she's very lucky to go to a good school. But I know that there are so school is not so school is oftentimes a given. So that's why I would have like my priorities would be threefold. First, love your children. Is that as easy as that? It's like the foundation, and it's always possible. And second, try to put your kid in a good school. Do your research and get the financial resources you may get for that, even though you might it might be a stretch in other areas. But good school is should be probably a priority, especially now, right? But this is not always possible. So the next one is do your job as a parent to leverage the trade-offs, to really work on that. So if there is something that your school doesn't do, so because in some points there is a school that actually puts unnecessary pressure on kids, for example, academic pressure, etc., etc. And parents tend to go with the school. So if the teacher says something, the teacher is right, the kid is wrong. So I would advise to listen to your kid more than to the teacher, and to do your job, to provide support, emotional support, and also knowledge support to your kid, right? And also now there are a lot of resources, online resources. Go to EdCast, find educational content, right? Go to some other resources that you might find, and do your work educating your kid in addition to the school. And again, academic knowledge is one thing, but emotional support is the other, and actually communicating basic mental models. So if your kid trusts you, if your kid loves you, then your kid will be more likely to go with your mental models than the school's mental model. And especially if you help your kid socialize in the school, whatever the school is, I think that is an important piece of job that parents may do. And they can find, as grown-ups, they can find a lot of resources for themselves to navigate this complex thing. That's it.
Yeah, you have something? Okay.
Yeah.
I have one quick thing. That is a research that has come out that kids who are growing up and are bilingual, it's really helpful to the brain. They've actually done the brain research, because the way the neurons and everything gets wired, and when you're thinking in your ability to think in 2 different languages, And so that's one part of the research. But on the other side, when you see that the world is becoming one global village, it is very important, from what Jack mentioned, the community thinking and communication, that the more we can speak other languages, we can bond with the other society and culture. So I think as a parent, I would strongly encourage that when your kids are growing up, you teach them at least 2 languages. And I think they will become a much better person, both from a brain wire as well as from a community thinking and connection and bonding when they grow up, and also from an economic thinking, because as you see the tilt, as the prosperity and the growth rises in different parts of the world, ability to speak language, your economic growth rises as well. So I think that's the one thing that I would strongly encourage any parent. Thank you.
We have, okay, Tatiana, are you?
Yeah, I have a short comments. I think it's very important to teach children not what score you have today in school, but who do you help today. To teach children think in terms of what can I bring to society. And we organize a social impact youth summit with this goal in mind. Like we already discussed about sustainable development goals, there is 17 goals UN established to reach to 2030, and there is a huge range of different aspects, and we need leaders in the future who will solve these problems and who will bring something in society. And our summit, Impact Youth Summit, the goal is to teach youth, to teach children how to look at the world in terms of what problems exist. How can I bring something here? What should I do? How can I influence on that? It's possible to do even in kids age. You shouldn't be adults to bring something. Like children can help around them. Like there is a children with different diseases in your school, for example, or garbage on the street. Like to teach leadership skills, children to organize society to solve big issues. I don't think it's of course it's important to teach parents. But if parents just bring heart to their children to teach them how to think this way, how they can help, how they can influence local societies, it's already will be helpful. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Tatiana. All right, Bert-Ola, I guess we have a couple of minutes.
I think we are soon to end there, but two questions more, I think, and then we'll wrap up. You are all except James there, I think, from US. And starting with Jack, who just came there to Singularity University, how has this last weeks been, and in comparison to Singapore, and what's really the takeaway from this week's?
It's really mind-boggling. We were here for 10 weeks, and now it's already almost the 9th week. And I would never have understood that the future of the world is both very beautiful and very dangerous. First, the technologies are going so fast, and the disruption of traditional industry will continue. Hotels are disrupted by Airbnb, taxis are disrupted by Uber, and doctors will soon be disrupted by artificial intelligence doctor who can read 60,000 articles in 2 minutes and remember it forever accurately, whereas the doctors read 2 hours per month. And so the doctors cannot catch up anymore. And so it's the same with lawyers and architects, with engineers. Every professional, his job is in danger because the artificial intelligence and the machine learning is going to take over. Same as the call centers. All the Bangalore's Philippine call centers who are trained, all these people who are trained with different accent, in British accent, in American accent, will soon lose their job because of chatbots. the chatbots is able to sell credit cards double the success rate as a human being. So this is the danger. The machines are going to be able to make more profit and more productivity faster than a human being. And at the same time, it frees up the low-income group as long as we know how to use the robots and we know how to use the technology and we know how to use sunlight to give us unlimited energy at almost zero cost eventually. Then how are we going to redesign the world based on this very near future? And if we are able to design it, using it properly is good. If we are also using it to destroy the world, it's really, really bad, because bad people can 3D print a pistol and start to kill people. And all the technology has both a good side and the bad side, and criminals are learning very, very fast. So we need regulation, we need a lot of new things, and this is what I learned from here, and I'm very optimistic as well as very worried, and I have to help tell everybody about this and how to change the world together.
Yeah, thank you. You want to hear from each of us, or?
Yeah, I think they're, and of course, all of you, they are what's Silicon Valley, of course, and the environment you are now. There's a big curiosity for people who haven't been there, but you're all in your own communities. And what do you see?
Yeah, so our friends at Lean Systems Institute in the Silicon Valley came up with a good metaphor. It's like there is a comet. This new technology is like a comet that's hitting the Earth, right? And here in the Silicon Valley, people can tell you all about how this comet is made of, is made and what is made of, right? But they have no idea, mostly how it will affect the world, the society. They're trying to figure out. Don't get me wrong, right? They're trying, right? But honestly, nobody knows, right? And people around the world, they know everything about their local context, about their societies, but they have no idea about the comet that's coming. And it's really scary when you're here in the Silicon Valley. You try, because like my background is Russian, so I'm not from here. I came here, and I know a little bit about societies outside of the Silicon Valley. So as I learn here about what this comet is made of and what the comet is about, I get really scared about how what the implications might be on different societies around the world. And this is why I'm doing what I'm doing with the Institute for Evolutionary Leadership. So we are thinking about societal change, societal design, how we as people can come together and co-design consciously our communities and our societies. It's not just somebody who will bring this comet to us, will design everything for us, because they have no clue, actually, because it has to be grounded in the actual local solutions, in actual local people. So if you're somewhere in the world, it's you who is responsible for designing your own community, your own society, with the knowing that this technology sooner or later will hit there, and you should be ready to be able to design this. So that's the biggest lesson here in Silicon Valley for me. And James.
Yeah, the thing that I've come away with for the past, let's say, 3 years of research on regenerative, intentional community design and development is that there is an absolute need for self-reliant communities in the world, and that we have to build these. We have to create these environments, because jobs as a metric, as Jack was saying, is going away. And so how are people going to be able to live and thrive and have self-worth? And so we think more and more that if we can build these kinds of self-reliant communities using available technologies that we know already work, that are bulletproof, that we can make these kinds of communities really spread rapidly around the world. And from our perspective, this is the way forward in terms of taking technology from Silicon Valley, from Scandinavia, from the Netherlands, and marrying it together into a branded product, if you will, that can be unfolded everywhere around the world. I have to say personally, in Silicon Valley, I'm quite disappointed with the myopic thinking. There's a lot of friends that I have who are millionaires, billionaires. They drive a Tesla. They live in an energy positive home. They have a small organic farm around their house, their mansion. What's the problem? Right? I don't see any issues. But the truth is, all you have to do is just get out of this bubble a little bit, and you realize that there's pressing economic inequality, which is, MIT already has said, is primarily focused around housing. So we can address these issues, we think, by redefining residential real estate development through regenerative communities, and that's really the genesis of Regen Villages.
Yeah, and I believe in local power. Of course, just UN or some huge organization can influence somehow, but without knowledge of local mentality, it's almost impossible to change the world in a better way. I believe if we rely on local knowledge, local people, local NGOs, local retailers, any local, it could be much more collaborative and much more sourceful for solving these big problems. I have like short example, like in Russia, one international NGO, nonprofit, came to Russia to help older people in poverty. And what they did, they went to very expensive store and purchased like very expensive goods, like ham or something like that, and they give these bags to old people. And what happened? They were shocked. They never seen this quality of food. It was very, very expensive for them, and they sell it nearby on the street to the people, and then live on this money like a couple of months. It's the example how we can run approach like different problems because we don't understand local problems. It's my things like exponential mindset should be, first of all, don't think we know how to solve anything. We should think how we can collaborate, how we can share this knowledge, how we can share our understanding of everything to solve things.
Thank you, Tatiana. Carl?
Well, in closing, yeah, got it. Thank you. So I would say that 2016 is the best time to be alive on planet Earth. We've got all these fantastic exponential technologies that we can all put to use for very, very positive and betterment of the world, and solve the problems and repair everything that is broken that you see on the planet. But the two things that are most important thing is, curiosity has to become the operating system of this 21st century. So if we have the fundamental curiosity of why things are broken and how can we fix it, without that curiosity, we're not going to get there. So that's number one fundamental. And number two is compassion, which is super critical, because for all the impact problems that we are talking about, we have to instill compassion right inside as a chip into the heads of everyone. And we talked about what parents can do about it. I think if you can instill curiosity and compassion, we are all problems solved. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl.
Couldn't agree more. So Bert-Ola, how are we doing?
Yeah, I think it was amazing feedback there from all of you. And you have so many amazing stories, so I'm sure everyone can address you individually later. I think we'll wrap up for tonight. And for the coming week, we will have, you can follow us on Impact Journey. We will be at the People's Meeting in Norway in 2 days. It's an amazing festivity with 580 events. And then we will look at Fair City Gothenburg in a few days after that. And continue, and soon it's Nordic Impact Week in San Francisco, and VP Lab World Convention in Singapore, and other stuff. So it will be a lot of cool stuff coming up there. And join EdCast, it's a great platform. support Goodler, Region Villages, take the courses at the Evolutionary Institute, and support the World Toilet Organization.
And
Thank
come
you very much. And
next week. We're waiting you here.
Yeah. And see you in Singapore.
Yep.
see you all. See you all. Have a nice day.
Hi, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Yes.
Everyone.
Thanks from Sweden.
Thank you, guys.
Bye bye.